Hello everyone, it's Imran here. Welcome back to another video. So, I know I'm a week late on this, so I apologize for being a week late on this, but I am going to be reacting to Little Giant Big Trouble audio story by Kiefer Adams. This is the start of series 4 of Thomas and Friends audio stories on Kiefer Adams' channel. And I'm a week late to it, so I apologize. I'm sorry if I was a week late on this, but I guess just things just happened right there. Like I said, this week, as you know, has been extremely busy for me. I went back to college this week. Went back to college this week. I did my new timetable. I was trying to get used to it. Obviously, my finishes. I now finish college at 4:30. I do. So yeah, not really ideal whatsoever to be a week reacting to this video a week late, especially given the fact that Kiefer has uploaded the new episode 2 of Audio Stories, Animal Antics, today, because today is a Sunday and he normally uploads a new audio story every Sunday. So what I'm going to do is simple. I'm going to react to Little Giant Big Trouble today, and then tomorrow I will react to Animal Antics. So yeah, Little Giant Big Trouble. So it actually has been a good while since I last reacted to a Kiefer Adams video. And that was the audio special, Big City Thomas, the last video I reacted to from Kiefer Adams' channel. If you do want to go and check my reaction out, it's going to be available in the top right corner of your screen. But yeah, it does feel great. The wait is finally over. Series 4 of Kiefer Adams' Thomas audio stories is finally here. I really enjoy Kiefer's audio stories. I've watched all 3 seasons so far. I reacted to all the stories from series 3 earlier on this year, and now I'm going to be reacting to the audio stories from series 4. So Little Giant Big Trouble apparently is going to look at another dropped character from the TV series. I mean, Keith obviously did this with Nigel back in a surprise for Nelson, from Nelson. That will also be in the top right corner of your screen if you want to know what video I'm talking about. So yeah, what drop character is this? I don't know, but I'm super excited to see what this dropped character is about. So it has felt like a while since I reacted to a Kiefer Adams video. Can't wait to finally get underway with series 4 of his Thomas and Friends audio stories. And yeah, that's basically all I got to say. Links to the video I'm reacting to in the description down below as always. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get straight into this.
Little Giant, Big Trouble. Written and told by Kiefer Adams. The summer season was in full swing on the Skarloey Railway.
Okay,
Skarloey, Rheneas, Peter Sam, Rusty and Duncan were all hard at work. Mr. Percival, the Finn controller, was impressed with the efforts that the little engines were making, but he sensed that they could do with a little more help.
Okay.
One morning, Skarloey was being fired up for his morning train when Mr. Percival came to see him. "I've acquired a new engine from the mainland to help out during the summer period," said Mr. Percival. "His name is Little Giant, but he's quite a different sort of engine. You'll meet him later today.
Is that his name?
As long as he's really useful, I'll be happy to accept his help," said Skarloey. Mr. Percival smiled and sent the old engine on his way, but the Finn controller had his own doubts. "The Fat Controller has always told me he struggled with new arrivals in the past," he said to himself.
That is a little bit true.
"I just hope I can deal with Little Giant."
That is a little bit true, because when you think of characters introduced into TVS, like Derek with his engine troubles, and Dennis with his laziness, Billy with his rudeness, and Neville with his shyness, that you can kind of see what the point that the Finn controller is actually making right there. That the Fat Controller has had trouble with new arrivals on the standard gauge railway in the past. So, keeping my fingers crossed it all goes well for Little Giant.
"He's not like the other engines I've had on my railway." And still deep in his thoughts, the Finn controller walked away. During the summer season, a transfer yard had been built. This was a sort of platform where the Fat Controller's engines could bring passengers and cargo to the little engine.
So that's Little Giant right there. Was Little Giant supposed to be an early version of Mighty Mac? Because I've never heard of Little Giant. I've heard of Nigel being one of the drop characters from the TVS, but I've never heard of this Little Giant character. Is he like the same as Mighty Mac? Or was he an early version of Mighty Mac? I really want to know that. Keith, if you're watching this, please let me know in the comments down below.
There were 2 platforms, one for the standard gauge engines and the other for narrow
Oh, so that's how the
gauge,
transfer yard
with a
was built.
steam-powered crane in between. Thomas was the first engine to test the transfer yards and was surprised to find a little yellow engine waiting. But he was amazed at the engine's style. One end of the locomotive was looking around anxiously, while the other end seemed confident to be on the railway. "Hello there," greeted Thomas. "Who are you?" "We're Little Giant," boasted the confident
So
end
it's
of the
exactly
engine.
like Mighty Mac.
"We've been brought here to help out over the summer," the nervous end quivered. "I've never seen an engine like you before," said Thomas. "No one has," said the confident end of Little Giant. "We're going to prove that we're the most useful engine this
So
railway's
Little
ever
and
going to
Giant
have.
equals Little
Now, if you
Giant.
excuse us, we've got work to do." "Yes, goodbye," stammered the nervous end. And Little Giant was off and away before Thomas could even say goodbye. Duncan and Scar Lowy were taking on
Oh,
coal
look, they're
and
going to get a
water in the
reaction
yards.
too.
Little Giant glided in. "Well, hello," greeted Scar Lowy. "You must be Little Giant." The confident end of the engine smiled with a smug look on his face.
Oh, look at the
"Why,
smug
yes,
look.
we are," he said grandly. "We're here to help your railway during the summer. Aren't we?" Yes," stammered the nervous end.
Oh.
"We'll do what we can."
This looks like a very early
"You're
version
quite
of Mighty
a unique
Mac.
engine," said Duncan. "I'm actually impressed." "Why, thank
Even
you,"
Duncan's
replied
impressed.
the confident
Duncan.
end of Little Giant.
Duncan, out of all the little engines, is also impressed by this strange old engine right there. Remember that he was impressed by Little Giant. Remember that.
"We'll prove ourselves. We are the strongest engine ever, and we will do what we can to keep your railway going throughout the summer." What he said," quivered the nervous end. "Now then," said the confident end of Little Giant, "we've got work to do. We will catch you all later. Goodbye." And Little Giant puffed away, without even taking on coal or water.
Oh,
"I've got
no.
a bad feeling about him," said Scar Lowy. "He's worse than me," exclaimed Duncan. And for once, he was right. Later that day, Little Giant was making their way up to the coaling plant. They had been asked by the Finn controller to collect trucks of coal and deliver them across the villages.
Okay.
They met Peter Sam at the junction. "You must be the new engine,"
Oh,
said.
looks like
"Are you heading over to the coaling plant right now?"
Peter
"We
Sam's going to get
certainly
pissed
are,
off.
my green friend," smiled the confident end of Little Giant proudly. "You'd best be careful," said Peter Sam. "There are loads of trucks to deliver." "We'll manage," boasted the confident end of Little Giant. "Won't we, my friend?" I don't know," the nervous end quivered.
Poor nervous end.
"How many trucks are there?" 22, replied Peter Sam.
22
Can you manage
trucks?
them all? Shall I send another engine? "You're completely fine, my lad," said the confident end of Little Giant. "You just leave it to us. We'll have that train delivered in 2 toots of a whistle." "Well, I wouldn't say that," the nervous end whimpered.
Yep.
And before
It's not
Peter
that easy
Sam
to
could
deliver
say
22
anything else,
trucks.
Little Giant was darting up the line to the
Trucks.
coaling plant. "He's going to be in trouble. I know he will," Peter Sam said to himself. Peter Sam was right. Because Little Giant had forgotten to top up with coal and water after their encounter with Duncan and Scar Lowy, the challenge of pulling 22 loaded trucks of coal was going to be tough.
That's obvious if you don't have
thundered
coal or
and
water.
snorted up the line. The trucks clattered and groaned behind them. "Steady, you two," said the driver. "We aren't rushing anything." "Well, that's what you think," snorted the confident end of Little Giant. "I want to get this train delivered in one piece." "Maybe
That
we
confident end
should
is acting like
have topped
such a
up,"
jerk.
the nervous end called. "Pah! Nonsense! We've dealt with heavier trains in the past," said the confident end. "And besides, Then there was trouble.
Uh-oh.
Little Giant was just passing Tea Room Station when he found himself going slower and slower.
He's run
The
out of coal and
confident
water.
was not willing to give up. He dug his wheels into the rails and pulled with all his might.
This
But
isn't
it
going
was
to
no
end well.
use. Eventually, Little Giant came to a stop. The last 5 trucks barely passed the platform. "Well, that's just great," huffed the confident end of Little Giant. "I knew this would happen. You know what? If you had told me to top up with coal and water, this would not have happened. Would you be quiet?" The nervous end snapped. "This is all your fault. You were so high and mighty, now we're stuck here." Both ends of the locomotive bickered and argued furiously. Even when Rusty arrived to take the train on, they were still arguing. They were soon kept quiet when they were greeted by Mr. Percival. Later that day, Rusty returned to the yard where the little engines slept. Duncan was on relief, while Peter Sam was waiting for his next train. "Oh, hello, Rusty," he greeted. "Where's Little Giant?" "I'm afraid he's been sent back to the other railway," said Rusty. "Mr. Percival just couldn't handle him. He's not the kind of engine he didn't think would be useful for us."
And now the Think Controller can see why the Fat Controller has trouble with new arrivals, and especially in the TVS.
"The nervous end of the locomotive would have been a nice addition if he was just one engine," said Peter Sam.
Would have been.
"Good riddance to the both of them," grumbled Duncan. "I hope we never get an engine like that again." "We might do in the future, Duncan," cautioned Rusty. "You never know." Without another word, Rusty went to collect his maintenance train. Peter, Sam and Duncan looked at each other. But of course, in the far future, the narrow gauge railway did get another engine with one face at each end.
Yep.
And I bet you know
Mighty Mac.
who I'm talking about.
Mighty Mac. You're talking about Mighty Mac. So, Little Giant was actually a clone of Mighty Mac. That is just the same sort of basis. So this is a kind of like a little prequel to Mighty Mac, talking about a supposed dropped TVS character that was going to have the same basis as Mighty Mac, but was dropped obviously in favor of those two that were introduced in Series 9. Wow. So yeah, that would have probably made a very good Series 6 story. This story would have right there. I feel like this story definitely would have felt in the style of Series 6. That's basically what I should have done last season. I should have said what each of these stories felt like. I mean, it's great that we got a Mighty Mac reference at the very end right there, which I wasn't expecting. Like in Pick a Bucket or Two, I was kind of expecting, Thomas's new trucks to be foreshadowed, but that unfortunately didn't happen. But yeah, that was quite, and that was definitely a fun story to start off Series 4, Kiefer. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't wait to react to Animal Antics tomorrow. I don't want to react to 2 audio stories in one day. No, I'll just react to one today, which is this one, and the newest one tomorrow. But yeah, I did not even know that there was a dropped TVS character called Little Giant. So it's fun, and they shared the same basis as Mighty Mac. So I'm not really all surprised that that Little Giant was sent back to the other railway. Definitely not the engine that Mr. Percival was expecting. I do feel bad for the shy end, for the nervous end, because he just wanted to do his job, and that other end was just being absolutely boastful. I mean, it would have been cool to see Little Giant as an actual character in the TVS, but with all due respect, I would prefer Mighty Mac over Little Giant any day, especially after listening to that audio story right there. But I still enjoyed it nonetheless. A great way to start off Series 4 of Keith Thomas and Friends, Adams, Thomas and Friends audio stories. If you do want to check out any of my previous Thomas the Tank Engine reactions, whenever it's a audio story by Kiefer Adams or a Trains adaptation by the likes of Carlson's Video Workshop, then there's going to be a playlist coming up in the top right corner of your screen right now. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button for me. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this Thomas audio story that I reacted to. Also, let me know in the comments down below what other videos you want me to react to next. Follow me on Instagram. A link to that will be in the description down below. Share this video, subscribe if you're new here, ring that bell to get notified when I upload new videos or when I post in the community tab, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!